Hi everyone, and welcome to video number 2 in our series, How to Pass Your State Board Exam, Barbering, Cosmetology, Aesthetics, or Nail Technology. For those of you who are returning, we appreciate your comments so much. They help us prepare future videos going forward. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, please remember to hit the subscribe button, drop us your comments. You liked it, you didn't like it, what you think we missed, what you'd like to see in future videos, and make sure you hit notifications so you find out when we have new videos you might be interested in. Today we're going to talk about how to study for your test. Most students simply do not know how to study. They spend a lot of time studying the wrong thing because they're overwhelmed. And when they become overwhelmed, they tend to start going for gimmicky ideas. And one of the most gimmicky ideas I've seen over 30 years in this industry is marathon studying. I inevitably have students tell me, my plan is to study 10 hours a day for the next 3 or 4 days. I always say, well, so then you're planning on wasting 6 or 8 hours a day for the next 4 days when you could have been out having fun? That's just not really a good plan. Okay? You need a plan. That's not a good plan. I had a plan once. I planned to win the lottery and be rich by the time I was 21. And that plan didn't work either. Okay? I'm going to give you a real plan, one that actually works. It has 6 simple points. I'm going to make sure I read them to you so I don't miss them. Okay? Point number 1 in your plan, schedule your exam as soon as you can. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. We have people call us every week. I was out of school 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, for whatever reason, and it really doesn't matter what the reason is. Okay? At the end of the day, the longer you wait, the tougher it is. Schedule your exam at the end of this video. Number 2, give yourself at least 2, preferably 4 weeks to study. If you give yourself too much time, you won't study. And if you give yourself too little time, you won't have enough time to study. Ideally, you're looking at about 2 to 4 weeks of studying. Number 3, okay, plan to study in blocks of 30 to 45 minutes. All academic research shows very few human beings can focus more than 45 minutes without a break of 15 or 20 minutes. So plan to study in blocks of about 45 minutes. Then take a break for 15 minutes. Come back and study again for 45 minutes. Take a break. Whether you watch TV or drink coffee or run around the block, take a break for 15 minutes, not 2 hours. Again, study for 30 to 45 minutes, take a 15 to 20 minute break, come back and do that again. Do that at least twice, preferably 4 times a day. So you're studying about 2 to 4 hours a day. During each of these blocks, you want to answer about 25 to 30 questions. Now, if you're reading the questions slowly twice and reading all 4 answers, it will take you 45 minutes to answer 30 questions. So you want to answer 25 to 30 questions by reading all the question at least twice. Make sure you know what it says. Reading all the answer choices. The state loves to give you a kind of correct answer up front, A or B, but the better answer is buried down around answer C. Read all 4 answer choices. Okay? Get the actual questions on the test. Okay? Now, I don't care if you use the Milady book or the Salon Fundamentals book. They're both great books, but they don't give you the questions. They give you paragraphs and pages to read. At this point, preparing for your state board exam, you need to be answering questions. Question after question after question. You can find all of those questions in this book. Now, those of you who are looking closely might notice that this is the Esthetician book in Spanish. It doesn't matter. We have them available in Spanish and in English for barbering, cosmetology, esthetician, or nail technology. These are real exam questions, past and current, from exams in your state. You will see the same question asked 5 or 6 times, worded differently throughout the test. And this is why I say you must study questions, because the state is going to take a sentence in your book, a simple sentence like, what is the complementary color of yellow? And turn it into 10 different questions. If you simply memorized the complementary color of yellow is violet, you will not be able to answer the other 10 questions. You won't have 10 questions on complementary colors on your test but there's 10 or 12 questions they could ask you, and they will ask you probably too. You need to study actual current test questions. Which brings me to something for which I'm probably going to get into trouble, but I'm going to risk it and say it anyway. Most of you are probably familiar with this little book. Again, this is the Esthetician book in Spanish. Once again, it doesn't matter. Okay, they have it in English and Spanish for barbering, cosmetology, skincare, and nails. Anyone who's taken their test and not passed and is joining us today understands there is virtually nothing in this book on your state board exam. Let me repeat that. There is virtually nothing in this book on your state board exam. Almost everyone has this book. Almost everyone uses this book to study, and on any given day, almost half the people taking the test will fail the test. If this book were a good strategy, if this was the plan, it would work a lot better than it does. This is a wonderful book, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of information in here to help you going forward. Sadly, the information in here simply will not help you pass your test. And as I said, and it bears repeating, anyone who's taken the test, used this book to study, understands there is virtually nothing on the test in this book. If you want the actual questions on the test with the answers, they are in this book. This book can be purchased on our website down below at www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com. Okay, finally, point number 6, memorizing. As a general rule, it doesn't work. It's not a very effective strategy. There are some things you should memorize, such as the definition of sanitation, disinfection, sterilization. You should memorize OSHA, EPA, FDA, and CDC, and also the pH of a lot of commonly used products. But beyond that, it doesn't work, because the state board exam is going to take a very simple point in your textbook and twist it into be a half a dozen different questions. And anyone who's taken and failed their exam also knows this is true. Very little of the state board exam is word for word from your textbook. So memorizing word for word is just not going to work. Okay? Keep this in mind. The people who write the state board exam questions cannot change the facts. Forever and ever and ever, the complementary color of yellow will be violet. The English word lice in medical parlance or terminology is called pediculosis. That's generally the word on your test, pediculosis. State board exam writers cannot change this, but they can think of ever new ways to ask the question, and that is what they get paid to do, and they do their job very, very well. So, once again, memorizing is not an effective strategy. You need to actually practice the real exam questions. Okay, in a quick review of what I've said, okay? Here's the plan, the real plan going forward. Number 1, schedule your exam day 2 to 4 weeks from today. Plan on studying 2 to 4 weeks from today. Plan on studying 2 to 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. Plan on answering 50 to 100 questions per day. Study the actual questions that will be on the exam. Don't walk around memorizing sentences from your book that you will never see on the exam. And finally, memorize the right things. In video number 3, we will be discussing how to answer the questions on the test. Today we tried to give you some pointers on what to study. Going forward, we're going to be talking about the actual taking of the test itself, some strategies, things you want to do, things you don't want to do. Subsequent videos, numbers 5 through, however many it ends up being, I don't know at this point, we'll be discussing barber, cosmetology, esthetician, and nail technology questions. Once again, the actual questions and answers on your test. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, again, I would ask you to please subscribe to our channel below, comment on it, hit the like button, notifications button, visit our website, cosmetologystateboardexam.com, and come back for future videos. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.